Guys, so welcome back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, I wanted to do my May wrap up. I had a good month in May. I read 4 books and I watched one, two, three, 4 movies in one series. So that was good. That was really, really good. It looked like historical fiction was like I was in my bag in May. I read 2 historical fiction books, but you guys know historical fiction has become one of my favorite genres. When I tell you these Black authors, they are pumping out some good historical fiction books, you guys. Oh, some good historical fiction books. And also the topics and the events and the people that they're talking about, you've like never heard of them before. So that's always a win. But yeah, May, really good month. And with the movies, same thing. You guys know my wrap ups. I talk about the books, the movies, and the music that I listen to the whole entire month. So before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. First, let's talk about the books. So again, I read 4 books. The first book that I read or listened to actually is it was a short story, a novella, kind of like a short story. It was called The Wisdom of Eve by Mary Orr, I believe. And this is inspired by the movie All About Eve, movie with Betty Davis and Ann Baxter. Who else was in it? I think what's Marilyn Monroe made a little cameo. I saw the movie. Of course, y'all know I like to look up stuff. And I watched like a behind the scenes of like the movie, and then they were talking about it's based off a, you know, short story. And then I looked on Wikipedia and found some other stuff. I actually listened to this whole story on YouTube. I'll put it down below. And it's during the time where y'all know back in the day where um they did a lot of like productions on radios, but I really really enjoyed it. And if you guys know anything about, All About Eve, you have a veteran actress. She is in her 40s, just turned 40, and it's like the end of the world. Stage actress, and of course that's in the back of her mind where I'm getting older and they want like, the young ingenue. But a young woman who admires her, and she wants to be actress one day, and da 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 da. So they become really close. She becomes basically like a mentor. She becomes um her assistant, but it's a motive. And yes, with this story, the original story, short story, it's a little bit different from the movie. Yeah, it's a different outcome, but it was still so good. Next, I read The Filling Station by Vanessa Miller. I checked this out at the library. I have been using my library, you guys, and I'm glad I have been doing that because y'all know back in the day, I just would have bought that. And I'm glad that I did it. I like the book. It's a 3 star, but it's not a book that I want to get. I love the character, especially I would say towards like the second half of the book. That's when like all the tea start, getting revealed. But it's the background is the Tulsa race riot in what the 1920s, early 1920s, and you have 2 young girls. Their life just, turns upside down because of, the massacre, and their house is burnt down, and I mean the whole family's just destroyed. And it's just these 2 young girls. Their dad owned a grocery store, and one of the young ladies, Evelyn, she's graduating from high school, and she has a opportunity to go to New York because she is a excellent seamstress, and she's going to go to fashion school. You have her sister, is it Maggie? She is a teacher. She just graduated from college. She's going to come back home and, teach down at Tulsa. But again, the race, riots happen and their life just turns upside down. Y'all, this was so good. This was a really good book. I love the fact that you learned about the Tulsa race riots. And I did not know that. I thought after the massacre that that town wasn't like built again. It just was done, but it actually wasn't. It wasn't how it was, because they called it Little Africa. I mean, they didn't even have to go anywhere, and to do their businesses and to do their, personal professional business. It was like they had made their own town. And of course, the whites, they didn't like that, so that's why they burnt it down. Just to see that they did, like kind of like refurbish it, and businesses were built, back again. I honestly did not know that. And I was watching, some interviews with the author, and she said, a lot of people they forget that. They don't know, and she wanted to highlight that we did, where we were able to, kind of get back in the groove of, how it was. It wasn't exactly the same, but we were able to still build that time up, still build that, town up. And this book, like I said, it was really good. That second half, that's when it really got juicy, because the beginning, it was a little slow, you know what I mean? Because again, they had just lost their house, they didn't know where to go. And the filling station actually is a real station where Black people, would stop. They would get something to eat. They had to make sure they were going the right routes, because if you weren't, and if you landed in the wrong side of town, you was go get got. I would really recommend this book if you aren't into historical fiction. If you want to learn something new, a new event, I would say read this. It was really, really good. Next, I went to Audible, and y'all know I got the little 7.99 little subscription, and I wanted to listen to like a urban fiction style, or just a Black romance, something really quick and fast. Which, by the way, I got a lot of recommendations from you guys from my last video talking about, urban fiction books. I asked you guys, you had any recommendations? Thank you guys so much, because I got a lot, y'all. I got a lot. Thanks to you guys. But this came up. It's called Until I Met You by Monica Walters, which I want to read some more of hers. I would say this these older people, they fell in love instantly, okay? But I loved it. So you have a young man. um he has a daughter. His wife, has passed long time ago. And his daughter, they're really close, has a really good relationship. Her boyfriend gets abusive, and he like, oh, you're not gonna do this to my daughter. So he go over there and he kill him. Lord, don't laugh, but he get them together, right? But he goes to prison for 10 years. They give him 10 years. He comes out, the daughter's, married, has kids, and he's starting his life over. He's starting his life over. While he was locked up, there's this lady that really did take a hold of his daughter and really take care of her, nurture her, basically is like a mother to her. And they meet, and he instantly fall in love. He like, oh, she bad, you know what I mean? And she's the same way. She like, oh, he look good. And she comes from like a, her relationship is a trouble, relationship, or, past marriage. And you just basically see how it goes. It was so good, you guys. And like I said, I listened to it. It was real quick. I listened to it while I was at work. There were some little scenes. I actually started it at night, I remember, because I was trying to like pacify myself. I do that sometimes, where I'll put something on and, kind of relax. But I put it on and couldn't, go to sleep. And so the next day I wanted to know what was going to happen. And I, listened to the rest at work. But it was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. I do want to read some more of her books, because that was really good. Okay, and then the last book I read was for our book club, Lex Reads Book Club. It was Zeal by Morgan Jerkins, and this is really, really good. I do think I might want to own this. And the cover is so pretty. This came out recently. I believe it came out in April, and it's during slavery time and during Reconstruction time. And it's a love story. You have this couple where they lose touch, with each other. But they write, letters, and you see their life, from the beginning to the end, and how they just have to navigate other relationships and the past and the present. And y'all, it was so good. I really recommend this book. It was a fantastic book. Okay, so that is it for the books. Now let's go to the movies. Because I had read that short story, The Wisdom of Eve, y'all know I had to watch All About Eve, the movie, and I had seen that years ago. But I was a child, and you see them black and white movies, like, but I'm a fan of old Hollywood movies. I really got back into it in my 20s, but I hadn't seen this, like I said, in years. I, so I checked it out from the library, and again, y'all know All About Eve. It has Betty Davis and it has Ann Baxter, which I discovered I really love Ann Baxter. But this, again, the old Hollywood stage actress, played by Betty Davis. You got the young whippersnapper, Ann Baxter, some betrayal. that's going on. See Ann Baxter's character, she just is in awe of Margot Channing. That's it is. That's her name. That's played by that's played by Betty Davis. She's like in awe of Margot. Awe of Margot. Wants her life, wants her career, all of that, and she do some stuff she has no business doing. But oh, y'all, it is so, so, so good. It is so good. And the old Hollywood movies, they be having them cliffhangers. This was perfect. This was perfect because you already know the way it ended. It was like, oh yeah, that's what you get, or you about to get got, basically. Loved it so much. So yes. So after I watched that, I was on a Betty Davis kick, y'all. I watched In This Our Life on, what is it, Max? Y'all know HBO. Girl, they be changing all these names, but Max. They have a lot of Betty Davis movies. And I saw this, and this has Olivia de Havilland. Y'all know, was it last month I watched another movie with both of those actresses, Hush Hush Street Charlotte. That was made in the 60s. This was made in the 40s. Y'all, this is so good. It has a racial aspect. So you have the Southern family. Betty Davis' character is just horrible. Olivia D'Hara and Betty Davis, they are sisters. And girl, this Betty Davis character is still her husband. He like, I don't want you. He tells his wife, I don't want you no more. I'm done with you. I'm leaving. Girl, why he go get her sister, her baby sister, run away, get married, leave town.
You were jealous. You can't stand the sight of me because you couldn't hold him.
But then that go all toe up. But Betty Davis' character is extremely spoiled. They're Southerners or rich Southerners. So she get away with a lot of stuff because she is the youngest. She do something she has no business doing. She Hattie McDaniels. She's also in this movie. Y'all know she go play a maid. But she's connected to the young boy that Betty Davis has something to do with. Girl, this was so good, y'all. Please watch this. This was so, so, so good. This had all the drama and tea. It was not boring. You want to know what was going to happen. I was sitting in my living room. Remember, I was um, folding clothing. And I had to stop folding clothing because I said, I know this lady ain't going to do what I think she going to do. Girl, y'all, please watch this. This was so, so, so good. So after I watched that, I said, I got to watch me another Betty Davis movie. And this is called Old Acquaintances. You have these two best friends. They've known each other for years since they were little, girls. Betty Davis' character, she is a renowned playwright, and she goes to visit her friend who is married, is about to have a child, and she's like, she wants that life that Betty has. Betty's a single woman, independent, has a career, and she tells Betty, I've been writing, just like you, I've been writing. It's like basically these romance books, you know what I mean? And it becomes really successful. But she get a chip on her shoulder 'cause she like, I made all this money, I got a household name, and girl, she treat her husband like trash. And her thing is, you can't buy what I want, so I'm gonna just buy it from myself. She kind of belittle him, masculate him a little bit. And he feels some type of way. She treat Betty Davis some type of way, like, girl, you don't have a career I have, and all of that. It is so good. And then when you learn about like what happens with the relationships, y'all, so good. But yeah, really love this. So after I watched that, I hopped on to Netflix because everybody named Mama was talking about Forever, and the series inspired by Judy Blume's book called Forever. And I said, oh yeah, I gotta watch this. Watched the first two episodes, was hooked. You hear me? Called my sister and said, you gotta watch this. Girl, she finished it before me. This was so good, and I'm so glad that they got renewed for a second season. I love anything that Maya Brock Akil, writes. She is the creator of Girlfriends, and I remember being 9 years old when Girlfriends premiered and watching it. Had no business watching it. Same thing with The Game. I like her. I really enjoyed this series so much. I mean, I love the young girl. I know her real name was Lovey Simone. She was on Greenleaf, the show that came on OWN back in the day. So I really do like her. It gives you like, like obviously the YA, because these are teenagers, you know what I mean? They meet when they're what, juniors, seniors in high school. So they were 16, 17 years old. So you kind of get that insta love. But I love the fact too that you saw two different perspectives. You saw the single mom, wanting to give her daughter a better life, knowing that if I put her in a certain school district, she's going to get that. These kids, they want to go to college, better themselves. The young man's family, where they have money, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have to worry about bills and lights getting cut off and things of that nature. And I always say, such a breath of fresh air when you see Black people portrayed like that, because y'all know they like to always have that struggle story. Not every Black person struggles. Not every Black person knows that. And I love the fact that they had that, two different, perspectives. And I cannot wait until the second season. I will be watching it, y'all. And then the last movie I watched, I went over to Hulu, which I never do, but I really want to watch this. It's called Notes of a Scandal with um Judi Dench and Kate Blanchett. Y'all know these are actresses, okay? They can play Batman. That's how good they are. But they're both teachers. Kate Blanchett, she is a new teacher, our teacher that just came to the school. And Judi Dench's character, she is a older teacher, been in the school system for years, real lonely, doesn't really have a lot of friends. And she starts to befriend the younger teacher, because she just came into the school. And it's not a spoiler because it's in the synopsis. She sees one day that she's having a relationship with one of the students, y'all, a 15-year-old. And she calls her up one day and, like, I know what you did.
Yeah, I don't thinking.
Don't think, do. Or shall I just sit here doing my nails till your husband returns?
And basically kind of like blackmails her, or yeah, but yeah, blackmails her, because she's like, I'm not gonna tell, but you gotta kind of be my friend. And like she wants her to drop everything. And she's like, I know your secret, so don't try to play these games. But you see the ins and outs of Judi Dench's character. And yeah, she got a little pass. She got a little pass. And when you learn about it, yeah. This one, it ended really well. I would say though, Kate Blanchett's character got a slap on the wrist. Yes, that's all I'm gonna say. She got a slap on the wrist for what she did. But y'all, so good. This came out in what, early 2000s. Actually, was nominated for some Academy Awards. This is really good. It kept you on your toes. You wouldn't know what was gonna happen. If y'all like drama and tea like I do, this is a drama and tea movie. Okay, so that is it for the films. Lastly, for music, I didn't have anything new. If I don't have anything new, I listen to the same people. It's always BB and CC. I'm gonna stick some Whitney in there, some Deborah. I'm old school. I don't even what new school stuff I haven't even listened to. Jasmine Sullivan, was she not new? I've been listening to her. Yeah, just the same rotations. No like new music. No albums that I got or bought. I have been listening to. So yeah, I think I really just focus a lot on the movies. This in May I was on a Betty Davis kick. So yeah, but yeah, guys, that is it when it comes to my monthly wrap up. Had a really good month in May. Cannot wait to see what it's going to be in June. Yeah, guys, that's all I have for you, and I'll be back with more Black Books. Bye.